Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1677 of our daily content grind. Today I was going to talk to you about the new Armor Soar toy line and how, it's kind of like a new age of Power Ranger-esque toys, but none of that matters right now. Watch tomorrow. No, I had to scrap everything because literally as I was recording and editing that, they decided to dump an entire year's worth of Studio Series toy leaks. Remember I told you that when a leak begins, it's not ever just a drip, it is just the precursor to the dam bursting. The dam's burst. We have a ton of new toys. It's all from Studio Series. It's all 2027. Toys you might not see for over a year, but we know them now. Now, I will say when it comes to any of these computer listings, take everything with a grain of salt because we've been tricked before. We've had computer listings come up promising us toys and it doesn't happen. It's what happened to my precious Cybertron Skywarp. However, generally mainline stuff tends to be concrete and the sources on these tends to be on the level. So we're going to discuss this. Now, to start us off, let's talk about our new A-level toys for 2027. For those who have not been paying attention, A-level is two toys out of the franchise, Optimus and Bumblebee, that will be available year-round so that those characters are always present on the shelf, especially for kids who are always after them. This year's was the Devastation Optimus Prime. The previous year's was a Devastation Optimus Prime, and oh god, was it the 86 Bumblebee? This year's is Devastation Bumblebee and Orion Pax from Transformers 1. So, we take a look. Movie 5 Bumblebee is going to be your Bumblebee for 2027. This is the Last Night version, which is essentially normal movie Bumblebee with a little bit of the Age of Extinction added detail, and then Hammer accessory. Seeing what movie 4 Bumblebee just looked like after their big reveal of that toy, I am nervous about this one. I am very nervous about this one. That does look like a standard Camaro Bumblebee. It's the extra detail that worries me. It literally might just be a retool of a previously existing Studio Series Bumblebee with just a new hammer thrown in, but you never know at this point. Like, they might be trying to reinvent something here, which more of this list kind of indicates. So on top of that, and here's a crazy one for this, your A-level Optimus Prime is Dreamwave. They're actually bringing Dreamwave back up. And don't get me wrong, it's a very recognizable Optimus Prime. The Pat Lee puffy Optimus is very much a style people remember. Maybe not for the best of reasons, but people definitely remember this Prime. I'm not entirely sure how a Deluxe is going to really replicate the look and vibe of this design, nor do I know how it's going to sensibly transform. But that said, I'm definitely curious about it. I definitely want to see how exactly they pull this off. It's a funny one. It's a funny one to jump to, especially when they have so many Optimus Prime designs they could go to. Why Dreamwave? Of all designs, why Dreamwave? But it is a bit of a precursor to what else we're going to see in this list, because this is not a Studio Series. This is not a video game or movie. It's a comic book. It's not the only comic book character coming to Studio Series. So, let's move on to our Deluxes for 2027. Keep in mind, this is not going to be an extensive list of every single toy coming out that year. This does feel a little bit thin as far as the Deluxe. This is like 2, maybe 3 waves worth. We'll see what we get after that. However, we're going to start with 2 repaints of previous A-level figures. That starts with Devastation Bumblebee coming out in his Goldfire colors, i.e. Gold Bug. Now, it is listed as Goldfire Bumblebee, which is how they listed it in the game. And I've never been big on that. Like, the computer listing just says Goldfire. I guarantee it's going to be Goldfire Bumblebee when it comes out. I've never been big on that. Aside from erasing Goldbug, it just kind of screams of they know it won't sell unless it says Gold Bumblebee on the box. So it is what it is. It's not a bad look though, so whatever. I would still prefer Classics Bumblebee out of that toy at some point, but I will take what I can get. Maybe someday. We've only got one repaint, so Bumblebee. They'll do a few more. And speaking of the molds, they've gotten repainted a few times already. They're going to do Devastation Optimus Prime again. Oh, the 3-pack wasn't enough for you? How about a Nemesis Prime? Based on the skin that you could get in the Devastation video game. It is nice that they are at least giving you both of like the major alternate skins from the game. That's a nice nod. But it is kind of harkening back to my, like, you really need the Nemesis every single Optimus Prime? I guess we do. I guess that's just the thing now. Other deluxe releases coming out. We're getting another run of the Alicon. So I don't really mind this per se, because the first release of the Alicon was in the multi-pack of the Quintessons, where it was an exclusive mold, and then they did it as a run of Buzzworthy Bumblebee. So you had a couple opportunities to get a hold of this already, but nothing is mass as like a mass retail release like this is planned to be. Which means, being a super obscure, weird character, very likely this will end up on a clearance aisle at some point. So if you want a whole army of them to increase your Quintesson army, maybe wait for them to go on sale. But still, nice for those who didn't get the opportunity to get a hold of it. It's a bizarre figure, but we all want to add to our Quint collection, essentially. Here's a name that made me laugh. I got a good laugh out of seeing this one on the list. Studio Series 86, Red Alert. You might raise and wag an eyebrow over that. You would be correct to do so. Red Alert wasn't in the 86 movie. The only place in the 86 movie he actually appears is in the storyboards, where he was part of the Autobots that Ultra Magnus released from his trailer to combat the Decepticons storming into Autobot City. And that would have been cool. It would have been cool if he was in the movie, but he's not. So now it's literally just a reuse of, it's an excuse to re-release Red Alert. It's an extremely flimsy excuse to release Red Alert. Now even characters tangentially connected to the movie are apparently viable, meaning other characters like Trax, who were originally planned to be in the movie, could potentially get Studio Series 86 releases. Why not? Who knows? Maybe this one will actually have a spoiler on it. Like Hasbro mentioned that they're aware of the lack of spoiler. They didn't mention doing something about it, but then again, this toy's been released, what, 15 odd times now? So we'll see. Here's one that comes as absolutely no surprise to anybody. With absolute confirmation that Studio Series 86 is doing a wheelie, which is just going to be a repaint of the one that just came out for Retro G1 as a Walmart exclusive. This will be mass retail. It'll be movie accurate colors. We knew this was coming. Not a big deal. Not a huge surprise here. This is not a bad toy. I haven't reviewed it yet, but the toy itself is absolutely fine. It's one of the better attempts at wheelie that I have seen. Wheelie gets a little bit more hatred than I think he deserves. And I really do think that kind of harkened back to a lot of years where his only toy was kind of the worst G1 Minibot. But here we have a good shot at a really nice looking wheelie here if they get that color scheme from the movie right. Now to interesting ones. We start getting a little bit more interesting here. I have progressively arranged these so we continuously get a little bit more interesting and appealing. Next deluxe up on the Studio Series list is one Shockwave. Now, I love any time we get like a nice looking Shockwave, and I really do like the look of one Shockwave. Like it's capturing a little bit of that extra armor from Siege, but still not like going too far out of the realm of what I expect out of the character. It's a nice take on him. And yeah, as a deluxe, I wouldn't mind seeing him, but it's really going to depend on how he looks when he transforms, because we just saw how the upcoming one Soundwave looks and I'm not the most confident in how this is going to look. So I need to see physical toy and I need to see vehicle before I'm going to get excited over this. Soundwave ended up so disappointing. Now I'm very hesitant on a character like Shockwave that they should not get wrong, but they also shouldn't get Soundwave wrong. Still, cool name to add in. Hey, John Bailey collectors, there's one more for you. How about really exciting stuff? This is the one on the list that had me the most excited. Because I'm so thrilled we are getting into this finally. IDW Nautica. Now, let's just admit, like, Nautica is such a standout character from the IDW 1.0 run. She deserved to have her own toy a long time ago. The fact that she was relegated to a very lazy retool as part of a multi-pack during Titan's return is almost an insult to the character. Like, when you have a character that's that cool, that fun, a design that's that good, why are you actually going to go that route with her? Why are you just going to give her the laziest retool just to say, hey, we did it, shut up now? It didn't work. Everyone was still upset. Everyone still wanted another go at it. So we're getting another go at Nautica, and this, I don't see any toy on the market right now that this could potentially be retooled from like an off chance that it's a DevCon retool, but very likely not. The mold, that's already a retool as it is. I would expect brand new mold. Don't know what they would do with her afterwards. Don't care. We're getting into IDW. And that's the biggest thing for me is IDW is finally in the mix. And again, it's a comic book studio. So now we officially have gone into comic book studio series stuff, which opens up a whole new world of what we could potentially get. And if this is just the start of the IDW, I'm going to get real excited really quickly, and I'm just going to keep staring in my Megatronus, wondering when it's going to end up being IDW Megatron. If this is happening, I think that's inevitable now. Okay, but that's not the more interesting thing. What's interesting is there is a Jazz listing. And like, I read through it so fast, I thought it was Transformers 1 Jazz. I thought, that's weird. He barely appears in the movie, but I guess he does officially have a form. No. I reread it. It's 2007. It's movie 1. Not Transformer 1, movie 1. Jazz. We heard Hasbro years ago talking about the idea of going back and redoing some of the original Studio Series toys to bring them up to current standards, whether that is size, articulation, basically fixing things from when they were still going through growing pains. I don't know if the budget change since the first one came out is going to affect it at all, but it sounds like they're giving Jazz another shot, and he's not alone. We'll get to that here in a minute, but I know Bayverse fans are going to be thrilled to see that one on the list. So, those are all the deluxes we have. Obviously, that's not enough deluxes to fill out an entire year, so obviously this is not a complete list, but it is a ton from 2007. Let's see what else we have for this year. We step up to Voyager with a re-release of the Quintesson. This is a great one to re-release. The aftermarket on it sucks, especially for us who would want more than one, because is it just me that 5 Faces of Darkness like really stuck to? Like, and I just need to see 4 Quintessons at the same time. I'm happy to see it back. You know, it deserves another run. The wave it came out in was notoriously short run. A lot of people did not get their hands on it. I never got my hands on it. The one I have is from the Pit of Judgment set, same way that I got my first Alicon. So I need this one. I want it in proper movie colors. I'm happy to see it getting another run. I'm curious if they're going to do anything different with a transformation, considering there's no Micromasters for this thing to interact with anymore. So now it just kind of turns into a thing. So I don't know if they're going to rework it or not, but I don't know. I'm happy to see it. Put it that way. I will admit, this, we heard it, like Hasbro a few years ago, like they said that they were like dropping down the number of waves per year by one so that they wouldn't have to have filler, you know, and all the like the reissues and package refreshes that we've been getting. But this list does include multiple package refreshes, and we've gotten package refreshes since then, so it's a little bit weird. But at the very least, this one deserves it. Now, more exciting news, more exciting names. Drift as a Voyager class toy. So this is going to go more into the Deluxe Plus category of characters who feel like they should be Deluxes, but due to additional paint, additional parts, or whatever, we're getting him as a Voyager instead. It is listed as an IDW Drift, considering the only other one they could go to is like Cyberverse. I'm not really shocked that they would go for IDW. The question is which one, because the Thrilling 30 toy is based on his original look in the comic books, but he does have several other iterations. I would really, really like for them to keep the Lost Light vibes and do that particular design. That means I absolutely need to have a Ratchet to go with him. Fingers crossed. I really feel like Nautica is such a high demand character, and Drift has had such a drought of toys based on his original design, that those are two incredibly safe IDW figures to lead with. And if they're well received, if they're popular and sell well, that's when we get more. And so I'm really hoping the toys end up good. I don't want anything happening to potential run of IDW designs the way it did with the War for Cybertron designs. Because as you will note, I'll tell you right now, we're not through with this list. No Gamer Edition. No War for Cybertron toys anywhere on this list. So, lots to look forward to there. Let's keep going with those 2007 redos. Ratchet is listed as well. Again, I thought it was TF1 Ratchet when I read through the list the first time. No, 2007, Movie 1 Ratchet. Seeing it done as a Voyager is going to be nice. Hopefully, like I have to assume if they're redoing these characters, they're going to do them better than their last attempts on them. So I have no idea what to take away from this other than good luck to you. As like a small-ish Voyager, they should have the budget to make it look pretty good. And then Ironhide is right there alongside him in the listings. Because I guess even when they're completely different molds and characters, they, you know, if you do a Ratchet, you still have to do an Ironhide. It's rule at this point. This is, again, like, this one was on his first release, that Voyager was really hard to get a hold of, but they did run that toy again, and then they put it in a multi-pack. You had plenty of opportunities to get the first mold. So now I'm really curious what they're doing with mold number 2. If he ends up being bulkier, if he ends up being more movie accurate or whatever. But again, it looks like another redo for the original movie. Interesting to me. Now, we're going to move on to leaders next. And that's where we close off. But along with the leaders, before we get into leaders, there is one extra thing. There's one extra thing that we do need to actually discuss. And that is a multi-pack, which seems like it's going to fix a bit of an issue with distribution on the cassettes. So we are getting a Autobot multi-pack of cassettes. Who is in it? We have no idea. I presume another shot at Steeljaw, since that was kind of a weird one to get a hold of when it first came out. Maybe another run at Ramhorn, since the only way to get that was packed in with Perceptor. Not everyone's going to buy a weird multi-pack, just get their hands on a brand new Ramhorn. Yeah, and I assume for Studio Series Blaster, who came out with Rewind, that this will be how we get Eject as well. And then it's a matter of, was it Eject or Rewind? Man, I can't remember. I can't remember. It's buried in my shelf right now. I can't tell. Regardless, this is how we're going to get the other of his cassettes. Now, whether or not it's just those 3 to complement Studio Series 86 Blaster, or perhaps we end up getting a few others. Rain Dance and Grand Slam, please. I think that might be a little bit ambitious for how small the cassettes are now, so maybe not. But we are getting more cassettes for Blaster. And I assume, you know, it's always possible that they'll do the exact same thing and do it for Soundwave as well. Now, leader classes start with a rerun of Swoop, and I think, again, that's a pretty good call. It seems like every Dinobot has needed at least one rerun due to popularity, but also this is a very important one because he comes with additional swords for your other Dinobots. Now, some of those swords are locked behind the G2 comic book, or G1 comic book Grimlock release. That's a little bit frustrating. But hey, for those who missed out on Swoop, here's another shot at it. It's nice. It's a nice figure. It's a nice figure. This listing makes me happy. This has been in speculation a long time, but once again, it has popped up in the listings, and I love to see it. We are getting Marble Soundwave. Now, considering we absolutely like the listing, we've kind of seen this listing come up before, but this is further cementing that it is Marble Soundwave. And considering we just got 86 Soundwave in proper blue, I really have no reason to believe that they're going to run that toy again in the same toy line, in the same colors, and just change it to Marble. This has to be the purple Soundwave. This absolutely has to be. It's such an easy repaint that they've never done before. This is a perfect chance to do it. This has me excited. I really like this color scheme. I really want to see Soundwave in this color scheme for once, finally. We have a new Optimus Prime listed. This one is Sleep Mode. So hey, did you want to buy that Optimus Prime without the trailer? Well, congratulations. You either have Super Battle Damaged or Super Battle Damaged and Dead to choose from. I presume it's going to be the One Shall Stand version that's out at Target right now. Just saw it for the first time, actually, yesterday. Neat little figure. Like, it does look cool. I like how much is battle damaged on him with mold changes, not just paint. It looks neat. Not something I'd actively go out of my way for, but it's kind of cool, the level of detail they went with. They're going to release him as a dead version. So there you go. For all those people who like to collect your corpses, you got another one. We continue with The Last Knight. It's not just a Bumblebee. We're getting a leader class Megatron as well. I'm kind of iffy on this. Like, I don't put a whole lot into the knight design on a lot of these Transformers from the movie, but I do kind of like this Megatron better than most of the others. Okay, so fine. I like the jet mode. Let's say that. I like the jet mode. This is another one where, like, that's his movie design down to a T. How does that thing turn into a jet? I am super curious how they actually plan to do that. Because let's be honest, they were like the toys they did for it during The Last Knight were really, really good. They certainly did not get accuracy as a priority. So we will see. This one's fascinating too. So we are getting a leader class redo of 2007 Optimus Prime. Remember, the original one was a Voyager. Now we're getting one as a leader. It does have me concerned that, Studio Series, I believe, is about 10 years old at this point, and we're getting characters who were originally Voyager class releases now at leader class. And I'm sure some of that comes down to part density and trying to make them just more accurate and more painted, etc. But it does feel weird, right? It's like, that's more expensive than it should be. I shouldn't be paying that considering what I paid for it before. But still, if you didn't get the 07 before, you've had plenty of opportunities. But they're going to be rerunning it again. We'll see how it turns out. Hopefully better than the Evasion we just saw. And we're going to cap it off with the leader class toy that made me most excited. Because once again, we're getting more IDW love. And it's Fortress Maximus. This is so exciting. So I really like the Fort Max design in the original. I really, really want this to just be like this massive rolling fortress of a vehicle mode. And again, it's a way of getting a Fort Max toy out there without releasing a gigantic city. Which I really do think that toy needs a redo. Just me. But this I'll take. I'll more than happily take this. Now, looking at his overall design, especially where the treads are located, there's that part of me that's screaming, please don't just be some really weird retool of Armada Megatron. Please be your own thing. But we will see. I still think it's super exciting that the IDW push that they got going here is across all 3 size classes, meaning that like they are confident in putting an IDW character out at $60, and it's not IDW Megatron. It's not the Autobot Megatron that would sell gangbusters if they released it. Which has me wondering, this has to be just like the first load, right? There has to be more planned out than this. There's so many cool designs we have not gotten. I can't imagine that they stop with just those 3. You know, give me the Ultra Magnus as a commander. Give me, give me Rodimus as a Voyager. Give me Megatron. Give me that leader Megatron. Just, you know what? Just give me the whole Lost Light cast. Just give me the whole Lost Light cast. That's basically what I need here. And that's going to be your leak list for the evening. Oh, boy. Oh, it's a lot. Oh, that's a lot. So, I'm going to go absorb this a little bit more. You guys feel free to discuss it in the comment section below. It's an exciting list. Let me know what you're most excited for. So, thank you very much for watching what is probably a very late upload. Do appreciate it. And as always, I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.